Emanuel Navarrete beats Oscar Valdez over the 12-round distance. Now, I have to say, this was a fantastic performance by Navarrete. A very good fight. I didn't think the fight was quite as good as I thought it would be, because I thought there would be some knockdowns in the mix, and I actually thought Valdez would beat him. He proved me wrong, Navarrete did. Navarrete did an excellent job game planning for Valdez. He kept his right hand up consistently during the fight, and he clearly game planned around the left hook of Oscar Valdez. He was getting hit with a lot of flush right hands, but he never got hit with the home run left hook. He was confusing Valdez from the early rounds. Valdez could never get into his rhythm. Even though Navarrete was engaging Valdez in a favored position, Navarrete was not leading with too many power shots. He was using a stiff jab to open up his power shots. He was, stepping in, leading with power shots, coming over the top with overhands and hooks. He was disguising his attacks extremely well, as he usually does, but he was far more defensively responsible in this fight than he was in the Liam Wilson fight, which I think was an adequate wake-up call for him for this fight. Valdez was very, very confused. He seemed to have a very difficult time timing Navarrete coming in. He was not able to catch him consistently coming in at mid-range. He wasn't able to land his left hook flush during the fight. And those early rounds effectively set the tempo for Navarrete, and he was laying down a beating on Oscar Valdez. Valdez was able to get some success, I think, in rounds 5 and 6. He was able to land on Navarrete. I thought he was starting to implement a little bit better tactics, but clearly he did not come into this fight with any type of game plan, nor does he usually do it. Valdez is somebody who never varies his tactics fight by fight, and that's something I said coming into this fight. Even though I got it wrong, one thing I did say in the pre-fight prediction was that Valdez never alters his tactics fight by fight. He wants opponents to open up, and he wants to land his home run. Navarrete opened up, but he was never able to land his home run, and in instances in which he was able to land the left hook, he never landed it flush on the chin. He would sometimes land it on the neck. He would sometimes land it, around the temple, maybe on Navarrete's forehead, but never flush on the chin. And Navarrete also did a good job of riding his punches. He was a lot of the times getting caught with Valdez's left hooks while he was backing out of range. So he was not taking the full brunt force of his left hooks, and he was keeping his right hand up to block the punches, which might have cost him in the end, because he appeared to break his right hand, and that was part of the reason Valdez was able to get into the fight in the mid-rounds. I thought Navarrete had appeared to be slowing a bit, but his right hand seemed to be broken. But it was no worry, because Valdez, either he didn't understand that Navarrete had broken his hand, or, once again, he didn't alter his tactics accordingly. He didn't jump on Navarrete when he wasn't leading as much. So he would continue to get caught with the left hook. Navarrete would continue to throw his feint his right hand, and then come over the top with a left hook or an uppercut. And eventually Valdez's eye swole, so he couldn't see Navarrete's left hooks or jabs coming. He broke his orbital bone, and his eye ended up swelling up to like 3 times its size. And it ended up being actually a rather routine night for Navarrete. Even though I had the fight 8 rounds to 4 in the end, I thought it was actually a pretty one-sided fight when you look at the amount of damage both guys took and how dominant Navarrete's rounds were, and the fact that he was able to hurt and momentarily staggered Valdez much more than vice versa. So fantastic performance by Navarrete. He's proven himself to be a legit champion at 130 pounds. As for Valdez, his limitations have been exposed in the past, but this fight has especially, I think, shown his level. It wasn't just the Conceição fights and the Shakur Stevenson fights. He fought another puncher in this fight. He fought another aggressive fighter, and he did not show any type of tactical adjustments. His defense is usually putrid, horrendous, awful, but it was even worse in this fight than you could possibly imagine. It was horrific. He never made any opportunity to vary up his defense, didn't parry punches, was occasionally slipping punches in some of the mid-rounds because, Navarrete was telegraphing a lot of his punches, but no pre-slipping, no level changes. He was just getting beat up. His defense has shown no improvements over the years. It was absolutely horrific. And I think it's a referendum, to some extent on how shot Miguel Berchelt was that he was able to win that fight in such devastating fashion. But congratulations to Navarrete, though. I'm definitely excited to see where he goes in the 130-pound weight category. The current champions are Cordina, Oshaki Foster, and you also have... Who's the other champ? So you have... Currently, Navarrete holds the WBO. You have Oshaki Foster, who currently holds the WBC. You have... Hector Garcia, who holds the IBF. There's not too many fights realistically that Navarrete might take, but I do think there is a chance considering how he's been able to kind of seamlessly go through the weights and attain success and win at world level. There's a chance they might just pin him in with Shakur Stevenson for the hell of it. Fuck it. Shakur is kind of out of opponents at 135 pounds. They might as well just pit him together and, maybe try to throw a name on Shakur's resume. I think Navarrete is eventually going to meet his match as he goes through the weights, but he has shown a pretty high level of skill, definitely some defensive flaws, fundamental flaws, but he's shown a pretty high level of skill. He's shown adaptability. He's shown an ability to fight at virtually every range, front foot, back foot, in the pocket, you name it. Very, very good fighter. I'm impressed with what I saw tonight. Congratulations to Navarrete. He proved me wrong. Have a good one.